Paige Bueckers, racially confused.
As a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve.
There's white privilege every day that I see it.
The unknown players in the WNBA, they have been overlooked for decades because they're innocent black victims. It's so sad.
Just minutes ago, Paige Bueckers found herself back in the spotlight. Not for her skills on the court, but for a public apology that has sent shockwaves through the basketball community.
Everything that I say relative to this stuff gets twisted into it's racist. Are we all just supposed to fall in line, or can we all actually watch?
Her past remarks about white privilege have resurfaced, and this time, they're pulling Caitlin Clark directly into the storm. Fans are questioning whether this is accountability or damage control. As the controversy builds, Caitlin Clark continues to rise above.
How much Paige Bueckers is moving the needle. There's already statistical evidence. No, she is not moving the needle in women's sports or women's basketball nearly to the effect of Caitlin Clark.
Letting her game do the talking. But Bueckers' unexpected admission has sparked a new wave of debate, dividing fans and raising serious questions about race, recognition, and rivalry in women's sports.
The increased level of indoctrination led Paige Bueckers to downplay her own achievements while attributing her success to one of the greatest myths, the myth of white privilege.
What really pushed Paige to speak up now, and how will Caitlin respond? Just when the spotlight seemed fixed on Caitlin Clark's unshakable dominance in women's basketball, Paige Bueckers' past words reignited a fiery conversation.
Who are you looking forward to matching up against?
Everybody, honestly. I'm just so excited to compete.
Paige Bueckers, she ain't gonna be Caitlin Clark. Not now, not today, not ever. Sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
During her time at UConn, Bueckers stood before the nation and spoke passionately about racial inequality, emphasizing that her success came, in part, from white privilege. While many praised her honesty then, the context has shifted dramatically now that Caitlin Clark, also white, is rewriting record books and commanding crowds that most college players could only dream of.
The Caitlin Clark effect is real. There's evidence of that in college women's basketball ratings, and there's evidence of that now in the 2025 WNBA draft on ESPN delivered the second most viewed WNBA draft ever, averaging 1.25 million viewers. The spin is real from the media.
The resurgence of Bueckers' comments now feels almost like a plea for grace, a moment of vulnerability as she watches Clark take the spotlight she once tasted.
Paige Bueckers attributes her success to the myth of white privilege. It could have devastating consequences on her drawing power in the WNBA.
Clark's rise hasn't just been impressive, it's been historic. She's brought more visibility to women's basketball than anyone in recent memory, from sold-out arenas to jaw-dropping highlight reels that trend within minutes. Yet while Clark's popularity is celebrated, some voices have used the moment to question whether this level of support would be the same if she weren't white.
The thing is, Paige Bueckers is not 100% wrong. There is a such thing as privilege, but it ain't white privilege, it's not black privilege. It's the privilege that you have when you're elite in your field. She actually believes she has white privilege. But I also think that she is doing this to be accepted. It is no secret that the WNBA isn't exactly welcoming to straight white women. Paige Bueckers was not given endorsement deals over Kennedy Carter because of white privilege. She was given these deals because of her platform.
A question Bueckers bravely tried to tackle years ago. But with her recent tone seeming more defensive than defiant, many are wondering if Paige feels overshadowed, not just by Caitlin's stats, but by the narrative that's grown around her. What complicates things further is that Bueckers and Clark were once seen as equals.
All right, Time Magazine has become the place. It's time to acknowledge your white privilege when you come into the league as Paige Bueckers, the first overall pick of the WNBA draft, in an interview, bowed to the woke mob. I bow to you while discussing her perceived advantages over black players in the league.
Two elite guards set to rule the sport, But injuries sidelined Paige while Caitlin kept rising, unstoppable and unbothered. As Clark's fan base exploded, Paige's name slowly faded from national headlines.
As a white woman who leads a black-led sport and celebrated here, I want to show a light on black women. They don't get the media coverage that they deserve. In the WNBA last season, the postseason awards, 80% of the winners were black, but they got half the amount of coverage as the white athletes. So I think it's time for change.
Now, this unexpected apology has thrust her back into the center of attention, but not for reasons she likely hoped. Whether it's genuine reflection or strategic timing, the basketball world is paying attention. And Caitlin Clark, ever poised, hasn't said a word. Because sometimes silence speaks louder than any apology.
I feel like it should be equal opportunity. Nothing in life is equal opportunity, Peaches. Nothing. If I own a company, I'm not going out and saying, well, I must need a black person, I must need a white person, I must need an Asian person. No, I'm trying to find the person, and I would never do it with an athlete, but that's just me. I am trying to find the person who helps me make the most money.
While the tension between Paige Bueckers' past remarks and Caitlin Clark's present dominance simmers in the public eye, a deeper dynamic unfolds in the way both athletes have shaped and been shaped by the conversation around race, privilege, and performance in women's basketball.
Number one pick in the WNBA draft. That has meant something once last year. Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston. Are you going to share that money? Is that what you're going to do? Well, this is unfair. They're paying me too much money. I must share this money. Yes, I must. Now, Paige Bueckers, you ain't sharing shit, and you don't know shit.
When Bueckers stood on that ESPY stage, calling out the disparity in media coverage for black women in the sport, her intentions were clear: to use her platform to amplify those often ignored. But in 2024, with Caitlin Clark setting viewership records and becoming the face of women's college basketball, Bueckers' earlier comments are being revisited not as noble statements, but as a reflection of the very privilege she once acknowledged and possibly underestimated.
She got sexist, racist treatment from sexist, racist women.
The contrast between the two players couldn't be starker right now. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up numbers. She's turning games into cultural events. 15,000-seat arenas sell out. Viewership rivals men's matchups. Major brands chase her, cameras follow her, and critics can't help but respect her game.
It's still an issue every single day. No, it's not. Truth of the matter is, nobody gives a rat's ass, including you. Look, you get out, you get after it. One of the great things about basketball is rich or poor, if you got a ball, you got a chance. You don't even need a hoop. I didn't even have a hoop.
Meanwhile, Paige, still an incredible talent, has been fighting to reclaim her former spotlight. The problem is that the public doesn't just compare stats, they compare storylines. Clark has become the symbol of triumph, the underdog turned superstar who's delivered on every expectation and then some.
Paige Bueckers was interviewed by Time magazine. It was an extensive piece, very well put together. It would have been a great promotional piece for the WNBA, but they just couldn't help themselves. They had to go out of their way to make it all about race. Paige Bueckers just had to attribute her success to white privilege while victimizing black players in the WNBA.
Bueckers, once poised to be that figure, now finds herself trying to reframe her place in a rapidly shifting narrative. And then there's the added layer of public opinion. While many still applaud Bueckers for speaking out, others are questioning whether her apology, or retraction, is a calculated attempt to stay relevant.
Paige Bueckers, racially confused, speaks like a lot of your friends do. I always told guys, why do you guys speak different when you're talking to an African-American person? Paige Bueckers is that girl. A little racially confused, sexual orientation to be determined, but Caitlin Clark was not.
Is she truly remorseful, or is she watching her legacy being redefined without her and trying to regain control? Social media hasn't held back. Some fans accuse her of backtracking, while others defend her vulnerability. But amid all of this, Caitlin Clark remains distant from the noise, focused only on the game. She's not making statements, she's making history. Her silence is not ignorance, it's power.
The ladies of the WNBA are racist, sexist, and insecure, and they can't stand, for whatever the reason, that Caitlin Clark has a better game than they've ever had, any of them, even the white lady.
She lets her performance speak while others wrestle with perception. And in that silence, the divide between her and Bueckers grows wider. As the divide between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers widens, what's become impossible to ignore is how the media and fans are now positioning both players in completely different orbits. Clark has not only shattered scoring records and ticket sales, but has inadvertently become a standard bearer for the modern female athlete.
Because she's out of her mind if she's talking about marketability. Marketability is an individual thing. Some people are marketable because of their personality. Some people are marketable because of their success. The great ones are marketable. Why? Say it with me. Because of both.
One who transcends the sport and becomes a cultural icon. The attention she's getting isn't just about her being white or privileged. It's about consistent performance, charisma, and timing. She stepped up when women's basketball needed a face, and she's been delivering headline after headline ever since.
The stars of the WNBA are promoting this unmonetizable turd in the media. The media is seeking out all the big stars, which in the case of the WNBA, that means Caitlin Clark, along with players the media wishes were big stars like Angel Reese and Paige Bueckers. How will the mainstream media choose to cover it? Like I told you guys before, I think the mainstream media is going to pit Caitlin Clark against Paige Bueckers. I think they're going to pit them against each other. I think the media will try to make Paige Bueckers the face of the WNBA. Question is, will normal people embrace her?
Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers, once hailed as the future of the game, finds herself in a strange place. Applauded for her past, but questioned for her present.
2025 WNBA draft average 1.5, the second highest ratings ever. So its peak was 1 million viewers less than the average for the Caitlin Clark experience. The viewership literally got cut in half. Hell of a lot of people said, Caitlin Clark's gone, I'm gonna do something else with my day. And of course, last year, Caitlin Clark came out. The WNBA saw its far and away biggest rating ever for the WNBA draft.
Injuries slowed her trajectory, yes, but what's most damaging now is the narrative catching up with her. After calling out white privilege in a viral speech years ago, some fans believe she's now being consumed by the very dialogue she helped start. And that puts her in an uncomfortable spotlight.
Leonard McKelvey, he's a smart dude. 8 years ago, he wrote an excellent book. Black privilege, opportunity comes to those who create it. Leonard McKelvey is proud to have black privilege, and he should be. He's proud that he did not believe the myth of mythical racism. He didn't allow himself to become a victim. He didn't allow himself to be put into a marginalized group. Leonard McKelvey earned his success the American way. You can make the exact same case for Paige Bueckers, but for some reason,
her current efforts to shift the conversation or clarify her intentions have only drawn more scrutiny, especially with Caitlin Clark's achievements towering in the backdrop. What complicates matters even more is that the basketball world is now watching how both women respond off the court.
WNBA, not relative in marketability until Caitlin Clark, period. You can blame it on black, white, green, or purple. You got to have game, and Caitlin's got a different game, and you got to have personality. And Caitlin Clark, the way she conducts herself, is the right personality to lead that league. So stop with all the rest of the bullshit.
Caitlin Clark remains focused, rarely commenting on the noise, while Paige is now being forced to navigate the fallout of her own words.
The reason WNBA women have not been, quote, marketable is because they have been 1,000% unlikable. And that includes white women like Diana Taurasi. Unlikable. Absolutely unlikable. So stop with the nonsense. Stop with the garbage. There are very few women, if any, outside of Caitlin Clark that is legitimately marketable. You can have that Sabrina girl. She ain't marketable. The only other one is is Angel Reese because she takes off her clothes, shakes her ass, wears booty shorts, and truthfully is a pretty good player in terms of her particular craft, rebounding. And she got a pretty good personality, whether you like her or not. I happen to watch her, and I think she's got a pretty good personality for marketability.
Her recent gestures, whether interpreted as apologies or simply clarifications, are being picked apart. And while she still has a shot at redemption on the court of public opinion is far less forgiving. What's clear is that the spotlight isn't going anywhere. But who gets to stand confidently in it is no longer a question. It's Caitlin Clark, and Paige is running out of space to keep up.
There is not one single woman, not one, until Caitlin Clark, black or white, that captured the national marketing industry ever out of the WNBA. Tamika Catchings, Indy, great player for a woman. Wonderful personality for anybody. Smart, fun, you name it, she had it, but she played in the WNBA. That's all I can tell you.
As the dust settles and the spotlight grows ever brighter, one truth is undeniable. Caitlin Clark has not only elevated the game, but redefined what it means to lead with performance over noise. While others scramble to control narratives or seek apologies,
WNBA, not relative in marketability until Caitlin Clark. Period. You can blame it on black, white, green, or purple. You gotta have game. And Caitlin's got a different game, and you got to have personality. And Caitlin Clark, the way she conducts herself, is the right personality to lead that league. So stop with all the rest of the bullshit.
Clark continues to let her game speak louder than any controversy. The crowd cheers for her, the numbers back her, and the culture embraces her rise. Meanwhile, for Paige Bueckers, the path to redemption is still open, but it won't be paved with apologies. It will take consistency, humility, and above all, results. The game is evolving, and Caitlin Clark is already writing the next chapter. The question now is, who's ready to catch up?
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! I'm so happy, I'm crying, I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball. Period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.